Joanna, it is great to see you. Every time
Very exciting to be
you and I
here.
talk, we talk about relationships and dating, something you know a lot about. As our relationships with dating, with our counterparts, with men change, you're also now thinking about how our relationship with our career and money changes. So help us understand what is it we should be looking for, because we might not be up to speed with where we need to be.
Well, I think one wants to feel a sense of control over your relationship with money and your relationship with career, right? And I think it's very hard for us to talk about these things with our friends or with our significant others. The more successful a woman is, the more everybody hates her. And the more successful a man is, the more everybody likes them. And men are expected to make decisions, have leadership qualities, be ambitious. The minute people suspect that of a woman, they stop liking her. And women stop liking women and men stop liking women. It's really shocking.
Are we even going for the right jobs? When I got out of college, I pursued a career on Wall Street, and I was very clear about it. I wanted that job because it paid the most money. 20 years later, when I look back, I'm obsessed with the fact that more women don't pursue careers flat out because they pay more. Because guys do, and it serves them.
It's a really good point, and I'm always fascinated by people that don't talk about money as being a driving reason for why they went into a career. I didn't make the decision to go into journalism for making money. I wish I'd gone on to Wall Street. I'm now working a little bit in private equity now, and it's kind of gratifying. Well, for the longest time, the expectation was you would marry someone and they would earn more than you do. And you wouldn't need to think about a prenup, you wouldn't need to worry about money because you would be looked after, the Cinderella complex. And now you have a whole generation of women who don't want to be looked after, who feel very capable of getting their own jobs. And I think you have this new Gen Z and millennial women who feel they're going to have to look after themselves. So I think they're much more mindful of actually having to think about how they make money.
What is your advice to women then, as they approach their careers at any point financially? Should they be more forthright in demanding more money or seeking careers that pay them more so they can have that freedom?
Well, certainly in work environments, they should be negotiating for themselves. And it's definitely true that people don't like women who negotiate. So you have to do it carefully. I once had someone come in and wanted more than I was being paid. I was like, you didn't even do your proper research. And I admired her kind of spirit, and I understood where her ambition was coming from. It was just a little over the top.
Are our goals still rooted in material things? I did really well. I'll take myself to the spa. I'll buy myself a handbag. Do women need to change what our goals are to be more substantial?
Well, I think if you want economic independence and you want long-term security, you don't want to be spending it on pampering yourself all the time. If you're financially independent, you have much more control over your life. If you have economic independence, it allows you to say what you want. It gives you power.
Then do girls need to stop thinking of themselves as Cinderella or wanting to be her?
Yeah, well, we should never have thought of ourselves as Cinderella. I mean, I used to dream of marrying a foreign correspondent because it never dawned on me that I could be a foreign correspondent myself. And when I eventually got to be that, I thought, why did no one tell me I could have done this?
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.